You're okay. Um, this is a little bit more of a soapboxy one, but yeah, things are not looking good, like at all. And given the fact that so many of the laws around are changing, I feel as though this is a very accurate time to bring this up because when your government is going to start trying to hunt you for what's in here, not agreeing with what they say on the piece of paper that they're handing everybody, telling them this is what you should be thinking, yeah, they label you a domestic terrorist because you don't align with essentially being a carbon copy of Pete Hegseth. Um, which wow, what a holotype specimen to pick for your dudes. I mean, like who you want to run your thing. That's the guy. Anyways, but yeah, I saw this quote and it kind of like in my head a little bit because I feel as though specifically for people that look like this, anytime we start taking up an interest in, it's almost always seen as a gateway to crime. And I feel as though, obviously, aside from the fucking racist bullshit propaganda that we get fucking thrown out about us from literally every direction, let alone the fucking NRA. Putting all of that aside, from the ethos standpoint of it, from the idea standpoint of it, there's not a safe person in this country for us to run to unless they look like this in some degree. And in even that case, it's kind of hit or miss. So, at a time like this, and especially going forward, the first part of that should be at the very least considered. Whatever form of that you decide to indulge in is up to you. Whatever your comfort level is, whether you would rather be Katniss Everdeen or Hattori Hanzo. Let's leave it there. Regardless, the first part is very important just to have an option. The state as an entity likes to try and maintain the monopoly on violence. And so of course, when the state needs to transform itself to then become something that is capable of inflicting consistent, almost perpetual within the country violence, because we already have the military necessary need, like the military needs met for us to do that other places, despite the fact that that has gone horribly wrong. But for them to do it in the country where you're dealing with a lot of people, and it also gets very messy because emotional connections and things like that, because it's not like these politicians are necessarily devoid of having their own people that they care about. Within that, as the common man, we are watching an uptick in unjustifiable violence against the common man at the hands of the state. And beforehand, it just looked like it was us. As that's the case, we also know that people are impersonating various parts of the state whenever they want to go on a power fantasy and live out their whatever weird racist bullshit. There's any number of instances of this I could bring up, but one specific one was the employee of the month in Florida. I think it was he was a police officer of some kind. I can't remember what rank he is, but I honestly don't give a fuck. But yeah, bro planned a mass shooting at a New Orleans music festival. This is the same person who was employee of the month, like maybe with it like earlier this year. planned a whole mass shooting. I don't have to tell you. Yes. Anyways, so that's one thing. But coming from the standpoint of understanding the dangers of the world you live in, you also need to start training and preparing yourself. Because the worst thing is to be prepared but not know what to do. You have the items you need, but you don't know how to use them. You got the car but no keys, right? So, within the standpoints of, or within the thought process of creating these networks of like-minded people, find other people, like-minded people that are in the same club as you, I'll say. Hattori Hanzo Club, Katniss Everdeen Club, you get my drift. The Dirty Harry Club. We'll do that one. That makes it easier. Dirty Harry Club, right? So, because of that, those are people that you should be bouncing ideas off of and pressure testing with. Because when the situation arises, you need to know how you'll react and how you think you'll react and how you actually will. Two different things. I used to think I could fight, and then I learned how to kickbox, and then I realized, okay, because of my size I can fight, and now that I know how to use my size, there's a big difference in what I'm capable of doing. The same applies when you include a force multiplier. It's the same thing. So, at the very least, find some people, find one or two friends maybe, that and make sure you get a couple sets of boxing gloves, and just make sure y'all all know how to throw a couple good punches, like baseline, just baseline, and then go from there. You can just spec into your specific interest, and then maybe that group kind of splits off and they go and kind of repair off with other people that they've kind of come in contact with where they're all in the same clubs. So, y'all three can get back together and, hit the boxing pads, and then y'all can go hang out with the other people that are in your clubs and work on those skills. Because having the skills is going to become more essential than anything else. Because you might not necessarily have the resources, but if you have the skills, the moment that the opportunity arises, you don't have to hesitate. Yeah, so this has been essentially part 3 of Camp Hilarion. I'm just gonna start putting hashtags on these whenever I'm spitting them out, because there's still a lot of things left in here, and I've aggregated a ton of information specifically because I've been kind of hey, my close friends and people that I really care about, here's all this information about what's going on in case you might have missed it. Not in a way of fear-mongering, but in a way of it's getting a little bit worse than you might think it is because so much stuff is going on all at once. So I keep track of a couple of the linchpin things myself, but I also outsource some of that for other things, because between the straight, whatever they're doing with AI, and the general instability of the country itself, be on guard. Yeah. And very much heavy on this, because those are some cool people. Arm your friends.